All right. Hello, everyone. I'm so glad to be here. I'm so glad to have you here. We'll wait for a few people to join in so they won't miss anything. And just until then, let's introduce ourselves, okay? Let me know where you're from. I have my East Coast people, my West Coast people. If you're out of the country, out of the US, let me know. Just tap in the comment section. I want to know where you're from. Tell me a little bit about yourself so we can connect. I want to know how many children you have, if you have any, if you're a mom, if you're married, or just a little something about yourselves. And I'll start. I'll be the first one to say. So my name is Anita Prendergast, also known as the Good Mom Coach. And what makes me a good mom coach? Well, my experiences that if you all are moms, say you all have. And just through so I have a blended family. It's with three children. So it's mine, his, and ours. And my husband and I have been together for over 20 years now. So I've picked up a few strategies to help us manage life, to manage motherhood, marriage, and money, because money is a lot of the times what is bothering our relationships. So I've come up with the systems to help navigate those things with other parents. In my background in early childhood development, I've always gotten the same questions from moms, and it all boils down to the same question: Am I a good mom? Now you may be asking, well, what about dads? Okay, so dads can benefit from this coaching as well. But let's face it, I'm a mom. I can't teach dads how to be dads. So I can coach them through that because I don't know what it's like to be a dad. I do know what it's like to be a mom and a parent. So parenting is universal, whether it's moms or dads. Moms just have a certain touch and dads have a certain touch. So I am the good mom coach, but certainly dads can benefit from this information as well. And just from the fact that you're listening to me and you haven't turned me off yet, it makes me know that you are a good mom or a dad. And sometimes you just need a little bit of help. We don't know everything. That's one of the myths of parenting, that you think that just because you have a child that all of a sudden you know what to do, which a lot of times we don't. So I've, like I said, through my background of working in early childhood development and massage therapy, I hear the most intimate details of moms and some dads. And really, it boils down to, am I a good mom? We question ourselves for every little thing. And I'm here to tell you that you are a good parent. You just need a little guidance. And these are some things that I put together over 30 years of my experiences working with families to give you guys that extra confidence that you need to know that you are a good parent. And sometimes, like I say, you just don't know what's out there. So you just go based on your experiences. But some of us haven't had great experiences growing up. So how do you navigate that? Some of us grow up saying, I will never do what my parents did, right? So if you don't have that role model, then what do you do? Where do you go? So I am the Good Mom Coach, and I'm here to tell you that there are strategies for you. And a good part of my coaching is relationships, building positive relationships with your children, with your partner, within the community, with yourself mostly too, because a lot of that comes from how we feel about ourselves. So we build that great relationship with ourselves so that we can create that great relationship with our partner and with our children, and ultimately, like I said, with money, because I find that money is often a main cause of breaking down relationships. And I want to prevent that. So one of the reasons, if you're just joining us, thank you for joining. Okay, I'll mention again, my name is Anita Prendergast, the Good Mom Coach. And the fact that you're here listening to me lets me know that you are a good mom or dad, but maybe you just need a little bit of help, a little bit of knowledge that you don't have, because as parents, we don't know everything. But I've been in this business for a long time. I have a blended family with 3 children, mine, his, and ours. My husband and I have been together for over 20 years now. And I've been in the business of working with families in early childhood education and massage therapy for over 30 years now. I started when I was fresh out of college working with children, and I love it. And I get the same question over and over again throughout the years. Ultimately, it boils down to, am I a good mom or am I a good parent? And I'm just here to tell you that most of the time, yes. But sometimes we need a little bit of help, right? Sometimes we don't know what to do. And with all of the experiences that I've had, that I've seen, that I've coached my other parents on, I've come up with these strategies, with these techniques, with my network that I can pull upon to, for if there are any things that you need advice on, then I pretty much probably have run across someone who is knowledgeable about that, who can help us guide us through certain situations. So yes, the Good Mom Coach is here to help you, to help guide you through whatever, whether it's motherhood, whether it's marriage, or let's face it, money, because money is oftentimes what puts a strain on relationships. So that's what I'm here to talk about. One of the strategies that I use that is often overlooked is the power of touch. As a massage therapist, I know that when you touch someone, you're making that automatic connection. We need to start teaching positive touch. So much we teach our children and we learn ourselves how to avoid touch because often we had a negative experience or people take advantage of our kindness and of especially of children. You have people who might take advantage of their vulnerability. But I'm here to tell you that touch is so important. It's essential as diet and exercise in our everyday lives. So I do believe that you need to have some type of positive, intentional touch every day. One way is through massage, obviously. Some people may not be able to do massage every day. If you can, that's great. But I'm here to tell you that you can do massage every day. It doesn't necessarily have to be in a spa for an hour with a professional massage therapist. And that's what we're here to talk about today, massage for infants and toddlers. This is a series of classes for massage for infants and toddlers. And the first class we did was on bonding. This class we're going to do on stress management in children. Yes, children do get stressed, and we're going to talk about that. I'm going to show you techniques on how to help your infant and toddler deal with stress and how you can tell the signs of stress in your infant and toddler. Is anybody with me? I'll pause here for a minute so you guys can get any questions in. I want you to grab a pen and a paper or your phone to jot stuff down because I'm going to move pretty quickly because I know we're busy parents and we have things to do. So I want you to jot down any questions that comes up. Put them in the comment section or in the chat, wherever you are. And this way I can see them. I may not be able to get to all of them all at one time, but I will read every single comment and question, and I will respond to them either in another webinar or on the website. I'll put it in part of the course for you to view, because if you have a question, someone else has that same question. Remember in school when they say there's no such thing as it's a dumb question, or, so a question is something that you're not clear about. So if you're not clear, chances are that other people aren't clear. So we're all in this community to help one another. And so definitely, if you have any questions, jot them down. You can text it to me later or email the questions to me later if it's more of a private issue. I do believe in privacy, so Certainly when you sign on with me, I'll tell you about my coaching program a little bit later. But when you sign on with me, you have the option of having a code name. I call it my rap name or my stage name. So in case you do have some issues that are very personal and sensitive and you don't want to share, you don't want your name connected with that, I'm sensitive to that. I don't post a lot about my own kids. I talk about my kids and my husband all the time. Rarely will you know their names. I don't post a lot about them because it's their privacy. They haven't signed up for this. I have. And so, it's their privacy. Sometimes I'll talk about my kids and you may not know I'm talking about my kids. I may say a client or I may say someone I know, but just know that, I'm here for privacy. I'm all about privacy. So if you choose not to use your real name, that's fine with me. And like I said, we'll talk more about that when I tell you about the options that we have as far as entering the Good Mom Coaching Program. So let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, last week we talked about massage for bonding and the importance of bonding. So that class was important for new moms, for new parents, because 67% of parents of couples describe their relationship as very unhappy after the birth of their first child. And it breaks my heart when I see new parents split up after the birth of their first child, because I know that it is a common issue that can be I can't say solution because everyone is different, but I know that I have resources that can support them. I can let them know that, look, these feelings that you're having are valid. Here's what you can do. And so that's part of my coaching program, to really make that connection, because let's face it, we got together for a reason, and the birth of a child should not be the reason that you split. And there are resources and ways that we can combat that. And also, not only that, but 60% of moms and 20% of dads suffer from postpartum depression. And that is a clinical thing that you have to be diagnosed with. So I don't diagnose. I'm not a therapist. I'm a coach. So what a coach does is I take the skills that you already have. If you think about baseball or football or something like that, I take the skills that you've developed and I come up with a plan to help you get to the next level, to help you win that game, to help you win that tournament, to help you win the season. So if you think of each game, you don't have to win each game, but you can evaluate what happened during that game, whether you won or lost, and determine if something needs to be changed or something else needs to be implemented, or you need certain support around you. So that's what I do. I guide you through to see, okay, what's working, what's not working. If you need extra support, this is what, my recommendations are, and to, walk you through it until we can have that winning season. So that's what I do. If you feel like you have more, and then we can determine from there whether it's something that's beyond my scope of practice. And we have the resources for that. I have resources for that if you need extra help beyond a coaching program. So let me get started. Like I keep saying, if there are any questions, please definitely drop them for me. I will read them. I will get back to them. If I don't, sometimes there's a delay as far as when you ask a question. So I may not see it until after I've ended the program, and then it pops up and say, oh, this person had a very interesting question. And don't hold back on the questions, because if you have that question, I'm pretty sure someone else in the group has that same question. So it will benefit all of us. Okay, so this week we're talking about massage for infants and toddlers and how it relates to stress. Yes, infants and toddlers have stress. How can you tell stress in infants? Obviously, they cry. It's that cry where it's loud and you don't know, they've been changed, they've been fed, they've been, anything that you can think of. And so what do you do in that situation? That is a stressful situation. Something is causing that infant stress, okay? And then it's causing you stress because you don't know. So then everyone's stressed and that level builds up. And then we have another one of my heartbreaking episodes when I hear anyone who has, the shaken baby syndrome. That's one of the main reasons why I got into this, because it just absolutely breaks my heart to know that someone got so frustrated and upset with a crying infant that they just shook them. And they don't, your parent, you don't need to, you don't mean to do that. We don't have all the answers. Young parents, even not young parents, just new parents, if you haven't had experience with children, you don't know what to do. You changed them, you fed them, you did all of this stuff, and they're still crying. It's easy just to get frustrated. And I want to knock that out. I want to say no more frustrating, no more frustrations with crying infants. Crying infants, okay, even if you had to put them down for a moment, let them cry, go in the bathroom, you cry, whatever it is, there are ways to navigate around that. You still are a good parent. You're a good mom. This happens. There are ways to get around it and to recognize it. Part of the one of the main ways is to recognize what's happening and to know, okay, I'm feeling stress. This is what I need to do. And to have that program, have that system in place to combat the stress level. So we have the stress in the infants, and then we have stress in toddlers. How can we tell when toddlers are being stressed? I can tell you several ways, because as a preschool teacher for many, many years, that stress comes in biting. The kids will start biting other children, and then you have to write an incident report, and then they become a biter, and then they, lead to expulsion from school, from preschool. Can you imagine that? For biting, which is something that is usually a symptom of something else that's going on that needs to be recognized and needs to be addressed. So one of the symptoms of stress in toddlers is biting. Another one is the tantrums. If you're in the store and your kid wants this toy or wants to go run around and they can't because of their safety, and so you try to restrain them and they just fall out. It's an outright tantrum, and people are looking at you and you're embarrassed, and parents are looking at you, or people are looking at you like, why don't you control your kid? You're stressed. It's just a stressful situation. So we want to avoid that. There are symptoms, these are techniques that you can use to avoid tantrums. A lot of it has to do with communication. Okay, communication. We have to learn how to communicate with our toddlers. A lot of that communication has to do with language development. Our toddlers, toddlers are not all on the same level when it comes to language development. So we have to recognize what level our individual child is on and be able to navigate around that to avoid the tantrum in the first place. Back in the day when I was young, we had tantrums, but we knew that we was going to get something when we got home. So so we don't want, we want to start having a different conversation around discipline and around, what's going to happen when you get home, because we want the touch to always be positive. We want to teach positive touch at an early age so that our children can learn confidence, so that they can learn compassion in one another, so that they can learn positive touch and know what positive touch is, and be able to tell when something is not positive, when something is not right, and to trust those feelings, and to say, and to know, and to have the language to navigate around that. We can teach children language around that. So I want to go ahead, and are there any questions while I go to the next section? We're going to actually do the hands-on. If you were here last week, I did hands-on with my doll, and I showed you techniques that you can use for it. So those are the same techniques, or the same massage strokes that we have. We have the Morning Glory Effleurage, where it's up and it's uplifting. And you start on the back, you can start in the stomach, you can do whatever, it's just upward, and it's getting them ready for their massage. But first, one of the things that I talked about was setting were the P's. Remember I said mind your P's and Q's. So the P's are certain things, words that I came up with to help you navigate any massage that you do, whether it's an infant, toddler, a teen, or an adult. These are the P's, and the Q's are the questions that you may have and that I'll answer later. So the first two P's that we talked about last week were the permission and the presence, right? That was the main one, presence, how to establish your present. You want to be present whenever you start a massage. This teaches the infants and the teens and the infants and toddlers and teens. It teaches the infants and toddlers that you are there for them. It teaches them security. It makes them feel secure. It makes them feel loved. And basically at those early ages, that's all they need. They need to feel secure. They need to feel loved. They need to know that you're there for them, that you're comfort. And the best way to do that is through establishing your presence, okay? The presence, and then permission. Permission to start a massage is rubbing your hands together, okay, and asking, are you ready for a massage? And we went through how to tell whether an infant or a toddler is ready, whether they give their permission or not. You listen for the non-verbal cues. So it's the same thing when you're starting for stress. If you start practicing the massage for bonding and inside the house or inside, whenever you're getting, whenever you can provide your presence, your undivided attention, no cell phones, no checking Instagram posts, no anything like that, then you want to have that process in place so that when you're out in public and there's a situation, then you can have that conversation with your toddler around the words that you use during your massage. The relaxing touch. When you can feel them getting agitated, rub their back. They'll remember that sensation from their bonding massage that you just gave them. Okay, do circles around their back before it gets started. We, as parents, we know situations because we say, okay, I'm going to go to the store. Back in the day, you had that pre-game going. Your parents said, okay, we're going to go in the store. We're not going to buy anything. We're going in for bread, and that's it. You're not getting the toys, right? It's that pre-game. So that's sort of what you have to do with your toddler. Set the intention. Honey, we're going to be in here for 10 minutes. I just need to pick out a couple of things. Here's your list. List 2 or 3 things. Let them have a list, 2 or 3 things that you want from the store. Or you can have 2 or 3 things and they can check off which one they want, which is, it could be fruit. It could be, it could be a toy. It could be a toy less than $10. I used to tell my children when I took them out, if they were really good, okay, you can pick out one thing with less than $5. And, and you avoid those tantrums. If you feel if it's getting too long, if they're starting to get restless, start the circle exercise, start the massage before it gets too, because the thing about it with massage, if they're already crying, it's too late. Okay, don't even try, don't even start a massage. It's not gonna work. Okay, if they're active, so if they're playing around, you're not gonna stop them and say, okay, let's settle down for a massage. That's not going to work either because they're playing around, and playing is very important for learning. So you want them to play when it's time to play. You want them to, and then because that's language development, okay? And you want to prepare them for going out, for whether you're going to the store or going to someone's house and that kind of thing. So those are the main things to recognize with stress. Okay, so stress in infants, we have the crying, we have the rolling away or the lack of eye contact. So when you're trying to make eye contact, they're turning away or they don't want to be touched. So with infants, how to do that with stress is, again, to know the signs before it gets to the point where they're screaming uncontrollably. Okay, I know it's sometimes, and that has to do with your intention, with your with your peace, with your presence, being present at the time, and knowing their sleeping schedule, knowing their eating schedule, knowing, if it might be a stomach ache, you can do the stomach massage, which is in a different program. We'll go over about massage for the next live class will be about massage for stomach issues, for certain childhood issues that may arise. But for these next few sessions, we're talking about massage for bonding, the how that how you can put that into your everyday life for infants and toddlers, and how it would help them with things like stress management. Okay, so you have stress management in infants, stress management in toddlers, and it also helps with your stress management as a parent. Because as I mentioned, when the baby is crying, when the toddler is having a tantrum, you matter too. You are a person. You're not perfect. You get angry, you get upset, you get distracted, you don't know what to do, you get overwhelmed. You want to stop, you want to prevent the overwhelm. And the way to do that is the pre-game, right? That's number one, is the pre-game game to set the expectations of what's going to happen at this moment, at this party, at this store, whatever it is. It's all about the pregame. And then to actually practice your own self-care. Okay. Now that can happen any time of the day. A lot of it is the breathing techniques we hear about. It's about the mindfulness exercises. It's about just really thinking about, okay, what's important at this moment? Does it really matter if my child is sitting on their knees when I want them to sit on their bottoms? Like, is that a fight that I want to have right now? Is that important? Maybe not. If they have their elbows on the table, but they're sitting quietly. We have to pick our battles, okay? Set our expectations. 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, give them choices, pick our battles, and know that everything does not have to be perfect. If they get a stain on their shirt, it's okay. A strategy is to always carry a tie or a stain stick. I don't want to say a particular brand, but a stain stick. If it's something like I went to an all white affair one time with, luckily my youngest was a little bit older. My youngest was maybe 6 years old, so it wasn't too bad. But I'm thinking, like, why would you have an all white affair with kids around? And by the end of the day, my daughter was a total mess. Then they had water games. So I wish I had a picture of her. I should actually put a picture. Maybe I'll put that up afterwards. But her hair was a mess. Her clothes were all wet. But she had a good time. And it was fun. And it was funny. And, end of the day, I let her give me a hug. And my things got all wet and messy, but we were going home, so it didn't matter, right? So sometimes you just have to say, you know what, that puddle of mud, if they're having fun, let them have fun. You can always explain, oh yeah, there was a puddle that she couldn't avoid. And people know, people get it. We're not perfect. We don't have all the answers. Give yourself grace. And so that's part of the massage for stress management. Now, does anyone have any questions about that? I'll give you a moment just to see if anyone has a question. And again, if this is resonating with you, let me get some thumbs up. Let me hear your strategies on stress management when your toddler is throwing a tantrum. Do you have that look where the toddler knows? Our parents had that look where we knew, like, whatever is happening, to stop it. But sometimes the thing is, whatever we're doing is so fun that we really don't care what's going to happen to us when we get home. Sometimes kids, depending on their age, they don't have that that future, like what's going to happen in the future. They don't take that into account. So a lot of times that's not effective for toddlers. That's another thing that we have to think about. And in my Good Mom coaching program, I go over a lot of that. A lot of this is the difference between the Good Mom coaching program and, like, let's say an online forum for parents or something like that is, number one, that with the Good Mom coaching program, you know that you are getting expert advice. Okay, I've done a lot of networking, things that I know now that I wish I would have known when my kids were younger, is that kind of thing. Like, wow, I could have avoided that whole situation altogether, that overwhelm. So let me tell you a little bit more about me as a parent and the overwhelm, why this is so important to me. Because as I said, I have a blended family, mine, his, and her, and ours. And I love being a mom. That's one thing that, when I was growing up, my mother, she knew what all her kids were going to be, and she was pretty much on point. She knew my sister she combed the doll's hair until the hair fell out. So my sister was going to be cosmetology, which she was very successful in cosmetology. My brother was, he was a spendthrift. So he's going to, be good in business and finances, which he is. And so when it came to me, it's like, okay, I'm not really sure. She's really sweet. I think she's going to be make a really good mom. So it wasn't anything that she felt or even I felt was something like a job. I figure, okay, well, I'll be a good mom. I'll stay at home and be a good mom. That didn't work out. We had to go to work. And a working mom, and at one point I was divorced, single mom, so it didn't quite work out as just a mom. But what I didn't realize was that the foundation that I was setting for myself in studying early childhood development, being a motor development specialist, a childhood development specialist, and going into massage therapy school, is that those are all nurturing courses. Those are all nurturing things that I can get myself into. And that is what I guess my mom saw in me, as far as she's just going to be a good mom. It's that nurturing aspect that I have, that I'm genuine about. And that, I love my job. I love working with children. I love doing massage therapy, working with moms and helping people with their emotional stress. So that's one good thing that that came out of what my mom said, that she's just going to be a good mom. So I just embrace that. I come from a line of good moms. My mom was a good mom. My grandparents, my maternal grandmother was a good mom. My paternal grandmother was a good mom. My dad is a great dad. I just came from a family of good parenting. And I realized that a lot of people don't come from that type of background. And so they don't have that foundation. So they don't know they just know what they know. So whatever traditions are being passed down, that's what they know, whether it's, the spanking or the language that they use or the community that they're in, that's all they know. So I developed this program because I saw just a common thread among moms, whether they were young or old, from the city or from the suburbs or whatever income level. They all just want to know if they're being a good mom. They all kind of have that once in a while saying, I don't think I'm a good mom. And I'm here to tell you that you are. You always are. You just need a little bit of help. You need guidance. You need expertise. You need to know different things that can help you navigate motherhood, marriage, and money, because those are the main things that help build a happy, healthy household, so that you can truly have your family, your life, your way. And that's what the Good Mom Coaching Program is about. I will have a link in the emails that I send and in the comment section to my calendar. So if you want more information about the Good Mom Coaching Program, I can definitely help you with that. And so the first step would be to book that connection call, or I call it the parenting discovery call, and to see where you are now as opposed to where you want to be, or even just to see how close you are. 'Cause sometimes you're closer than you think. It's just one or two things that you need to tweak to get it there. Maybe maybe it's your toddler who who might have ADHD, or might have or might not be diagnosed with ADHD, but they're always getting into trouble at school or something like that, and it's causing friction in your relationship because one parent thinks that, oh, it's just behavior, and other parents says no, it's something else. So you just things to evaluate. I have professional people who can evaluate um, children to see if there are learning differences, or just different things like that that I didn't know to do when I was when my kids were young. My youngest now is 17 years old, so I've navigated through that, and like I said, now I have these systems in place where we're in a happy, healthy relationship, where I have healthy relationships with my children, with my husband, with money. So money is not an issue. It's not like this big thing in the room like we just don't have enough of, because that's not an issue. And at one point there it was an issue. At one point it was an issue, and what I can describe as, at one point I just quit being a parent. I quit. I said, I'm done. After years of making breakfast, making dinners, helping with homework, um, baking cakes every birthday and surprise. I'm up at 3 o'clock in the morning baking a cake just so I can surprise them in the morning, for their birthday. That was over. I said, I'm done with it. I'm done. And it's called, I didn't know at the time, but I researched and I got help, and I figured out that it's called parental overwhelm. Okay, it's when you're so overwhelmed as a parent that you just don't want to be a parent anymore, and you neglect um, your parenting, your children, basically, your household, and your husband. It was a mess. I was a mess, I'm telling you. And so I got myself together. My background, I'm lucky because this happened when my children were much older. And sometimes happens when the children are young. And that's when you have, parents leaving the kids at the police station, or neglect, or just whatever it is that happens when a parent is overwhelmed. And it breaks my heart again when I see something like that, and then the parent gets charged or gets the children taken away, when I know that it is overwhelmed. Parents are overwhelmed. They don't know what to do. As a parent, when you have a child, people think you got this. That's what they say. Oh, he'll be okay. You got this. Everything's going to be okay. But sometimes, if you don't have those parenting skills, if you don't have role models, you don't know. You need help. So, my program is here to help. One of the ways that I do help is if you come on and you start with a discovery call, we'll find out where you are, okay, and where you'd like to be. And then all those little steps in between, that's our game plan. I'm a coach. So we're going to come up with a game plan. And each step of the way, we'll think of it as a game. Sometimes we may not win the game, or we may come close, or we may, we just have to tweak the strategy for the next time. And then eventually we'll win the season. I'm here for seasonal wins. I'm here to win the whole season, okay? To get in the finals, whatever it is, the Super Bowl, but game is step by step. And I lead you through that process, step by step. So the first thing is the connection call, the parenting discovery call. Find out where you are, where you want to be. And then we'll see if the strategies, if their strategies, if my strategies fit your game plan. And if it does, and we feel like that connection is there and I can get you to that next level, we can help, get, I can help you get to that next level and to win your season, then that's great. Then you can join the Good Mom Coaching Program. And again, that link will be in the comments section. It'll be in the emails. I promise, if you sign up through the free email on the email list, I promise not to spam you. I'm not going to. The thing is, if this is something for you, so I don't have to keep sending emails. I'm just going to send emails just to let you know what's going on, just to let you know, here's a free training, here's a free access code, just to reach out and say, this is what I'm talking about today or this month or something like that. So trust me, if you haven't already, join the email list. It's nothing but great stuff. It's not going to be anything that you have to like unsubscribe because of getting too much stuff. If it is, just let me know. And then you can just follow me on the social media, because the information will also be on my social media accounts, which is thegoodmom.org or the Good Mom Coaching on Facebook. And my website is thegoodmom.org if you just want to connect straight to my website. And we'll go from there. So if there aren't any more questions, then I will go ahead and close out this session. We have a few more minutes. Please type your questions. I'm not seeing anything at the moment. Okay, yes, I do have a question. It says, what do you do if your child does not want a massage? That is a great question. Okay, so children, so like I said, with massage is all about the asking permission. And I think of massage as a gift. Okay, it's a gift that you give. It's a gift that you want to receive, but if you don't want to receive, you don't have to. It's like you don't have to give it and you don't have to receive it. It's not therapy. It's not physical therapy. It's not something you have to do to get better. It's something that you should do, in my opinion, to have a better stress management and to have better quality of life. But it is essential that it is something that is done with intention and with permission. So if you find that you want to give a massage because you want to give this gift to your child, but your child is not ready, that's okay, because eventually is with another P is persistence. So eventually with persistence, then or practice, then they will start to say, okay, well, maybe I will, or at the right time, so they may not be ready at that moment, but maybe the next day they might be ready for a 5-minute massage on the back or a scalp massage. I tell you, my son, he used to love the raindrops. I start with this on his head and, whatever things he was saying that he doesn't want to, this one, he is a teenager. So start with the raindrops and it just sort of, relaxes you. It gets you, a lot of times you have to do it for a longer time for it to relax, because at first this can be stimulating. But then if you keep doing it, it starts to be relaxing. And just doing this, like, just at a random time to your toddler, that can help them be more receptive to touch. And once you stop, you can feel like an energy field around your scalp, the toddler, and they will probably want more. So they'll start to ask you for more. So then you start that, and then maybe you'll go down to the shoulders, and then maybe you start rubbing the shoulders, that kind of way. This is all to get them calmed down, okay? You can start this like right around dinner time. You know that, okay, that might be a more stressful time of the day. So, just while they're sitting there playing or something, just, okay, buddy, it's almost time for dinner. Start with the massage on the scalp, okay? because it's not touching. It's not like you're touching them. So it's not like, oh, she's trying to hold me down for a massage. No, you're just doing, you can do it harder or softer or feathery like, just to decide, just for them to determine what they like more. And that way they can get used to your touch. And once they get used to the touch, like this is a good thing, it feels nice, I like it, then they'll start asking you for more. So that's one thing, just to introduce it gradually. And also, if there's a time where you want to introduce massage, let's say while you're baking or something like that, and just a quiet time activity. Another way is to have a doll out for them. So while you're doing it, while you're massaging them, they can massage the doll. Okay, so they're mimicking your moves. They're mimicking your moves on a doll or a stuffed animal, a teddy bear or something like that. Okay, another way is to definitely, another question that I had was, can older siblings massage the younger siblings? And I say absolutely. That's a great family bonding experience for older children to massage the younger children. Depending on how old the children are, you would definitely need to be more standing right next to them. Let's say if it's a toddler and an infant, you want to make sure that the toddler is not having too much pressure or pulling too hard, or trying to massage, I don't know, their eyes or something like that. Make sure it's a safe environment. Make sure they're both on the floor so no one can fall or anything like that. And just guide them through. Again, you can show them on one arm. Sometimes with infants, they may get overstimulated, so try to have less um, contact. So you don't want both of you to do massage, but if you show on a doll or a stuffed animal and then have the toddler do it on a baby or vice versa, then that can really make the toddler feel like they're sometimes you get those sibling rivalries, and a lot of times that stems from, okay, I'm used to being the only child, now here comes this baby along getting all my attention. So if you can sort of get them together, get them in that bonding experience, then that can alleviate some of the um, sibling rivalry that sometimes occurs with younger kids. My kids are 7 years apart, so when my daughter was born, my son, he was like, yes, that was like, he was like, this is my baby, get away. He wanted to do everything. He wanted to feed her. He wanted to do, everything. Again, even though he was 7 years old, we still had to be careful with, him carrying her around to make sure he didn't drop. So we showed him how to carry her, we sat him on the sofa and put her in his lap so he can feed her. Just getting the kids together. At this time, I was not practicing massage therapy, but with that just being my normal thing to do, the nurturing thing to do, I would show him massage strokes. I would massage him on his back. And I'm telling you talking about toddlers. So my program that I have is called Massage for Infants, Toddlers, and Teens. And the teens are the school age children, basically. So when my son was 7, 8 years old, I was still rubbing his back for bedtime. Don't tell him that I told you this, but I was still rubbing his back for bedtime, because if your school age kids, when you ask them what's going on at school, is nothing, nothing. What did you learn? Nothing. What did you friend? Anything. It's all nothing. They didn't do anything all day in school, right? So one of the ways that I would get my son, and it wasn't intentional, it was just something that I did, and I found that, okay, he spills his guts, at bedtime when I just rub his back. Story time, because it's another thing with toddlers. Sometimes you have to read 4 or 5 books just to get them to settle down, and then it ends up you fall asleep before they do. So that was the thing with us. So then I just started including the back rub with our story time. And I tell you, by the end of the story, we wouldn't even get to the end of the story, because right in the middle, um, he would just start talking about his day. I would learn about what the kids said in school. I would learn about what the teacher did. I would learn like everything that happened in school that day. And and it's just funny because I know it's adding that touch, that nurturing touch. I just, rub his back. It's that connection, that touch, that physical connection that makes you feel calm. Okay. It calms your nervous system. It makes you relax. It makes you more open to discussions and to sharing your day and your what's on your mind, right? That's why when I do massage for moms to be, or really anyone, dads, for men and for anyone, a lot of times it is a open discussion. Sometimes it's stuff that they haven't thought about that they just start telling me about, and nothing leaves the room. Sometimes they tell me very intimate stuff, and it's because they're in that relaxed state, and their defenses are down, so they're ready to be more open. So this, as I say, is not just massage for infants and toddlers. It's not just for the infant and toddler. It's also for the adult, for the mom and dad. It touch is reciprocal. If I'm touching you, you're touching me, so we're getting the same benefits. Okay. We're getting that calming down. We're getting the release of the oxytocin, of we're getting the release of the serotonin, all these hormones that make us feel good, that makes us calm down, that relaxes our nervous system. We're giving it to our children, but we're also receiving it. So it's a gift. It's literally a gift. It's the gift of giving. Okay. So whether it's you giving the gift to your child, your siblings giving it to one another, your child giving it to you. That's another thing that we have that I teach is how to another way that if you find out your toddler or your child is not receptive to touch or to massage, have them do it on you. Say, you know what, mommy's neck hurt. Can you rub my neck? Can you rub my shoulder? And you can just show them how to do that. You can say, oh, do it harder, do it slower, do it faster, just kind of guide them into letting them touch you, because they'll get the benefit as well. They'll get the benefit with massaging you. You do this to them, then, they'll start doing it to you. It's reciprocal. They'll love it. They'll get used to it. And another thing to watch out for is sometimes the children will enjoy it at first, and then after a while they'll say, no, I'm good. Just respect that, honor that. Sometimes they go through stages where they just love that attention, that bonding, the touch. And then and then they'll get to a point where there's, oh, I'm good for now. Just honor that, respect that, check in verbally. It's not always a sign that something's wrong or something else is going on. It's just that sometimes, as an introvert, sometimes I just want to check out. I'm just like, okay, I've had enough of human touch and communication that I just want to, just be by myself for a while. So it's okay. It's all about checking in. Don't give up on them. Don't say, okay, they don't like it anymore. That's fine. Try every, once a week or once a month, check in and, to reestablish that connection and that bond. Okay. So are there any other questions? Again, if you are joining us, if you're watching this as a replay, then definitely ask any questions. I will answer questions on the replay if you put them in the comments, or if you want to email me or follow me on Facebook and ask a question about that, that's fine. And yeah, so if there aren't any other questions, then I'll go ahead and close out. Again, my name is Anita Prendergast, the Good Mom Coach, and I show amazing moms and dads my winning strategies on how to navigate motherhood, relationships, and money. So motherhood, marriage, and money, so that you can really truly begin to have your family, your life, your way. And the first step that you can do is, if you want more navigation through those things, is to, number one, go ahead and join my Facebook group or my email list, because what I'll do is I'll let you know when I'm having other discussions about motherhood, marriage, and money that you can join in, and I'll give you discount codes, free access codes to courses, and so that's very valuable for you to join my email list. And you can do that on my website, thegoodmom.org, thegoodmom.org. And also, I will share my link to my calendar, where, let's say, if you have an issue right now that you just need help with, whether it's you and your partner are really having a hard time navigating being new parents, and you're on the brink of, you're thinking about not being together anymore, think about divorce or separating, whatever it is, definitely get on my calendar. There are techniques, there are strategies that can help you. This is not all of them have to do with massage. There's just other techniques that I've studied, that I've seen, that I've recommended to parents before, that really helps. That I'm telling you, it doesn't have to end in separation or divorce or anything when you have your infant. That's what um, this this motherhood portion is about, really supporting the parents and with young children. So if you feel like you really need specific support in one of those areas, please click on my calendar to schedule a parenting discovery call. And we'll get to the bottom. We'll get to see what's going on right now and where you want to be. And we'll get that game plan in motion so that you can win this. You can win this, okay? It's in the game plan. I am your coach. I will get you through it. And I will see you next time. Okay, be on the lookout for the next event. So the next topic that we will be discussing is, let me get that for you. The next topic that we will be discussing will be how to soothe common childhood aches and pains. So this has to do with colic, with stomach aches, with growing pains, that kind of thing. So be sure to definitely look out for that and in the following weeks, and I will see you then. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you again.